Hello everyone, myself Vibhu. Today I'm going to discuss about some of the science related GK questions which basically appeared in our competitive exams like state level and central level. And this is my fourth session and I have discussed more questions in my last classes. So you can check in the YouTube also. Okay, so now we'll move to the first question. Which one of the following elements occurs most abundantly in our universe? Okay. Option A, hydrogen. Option B, nitrogen. Option C, helium. Option D is oxygen. Okay. So, and we have to see the question carefully here. So they have clearly mentioned the element available in the universe. Okay, the right answer for this question is option A, hydrogen. Hydrogen is available almost 3 by 4th of the universe. Okay, and second element which is available is helium. Okay, and the third one is oxygen. Okay, helium, oxygen, hydrogen are the most abundantly available elements in our universe. But we have to see this question very carefully. In few exams they have asked in the same place of element gases. So if you see that kind of questions, the answer is nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen is the gas which is available in this atmospheric air is 78%. Okay, so we have to remember that very carefully. Okay, if it is gases, then it is answer is nitrogen, that is 78%. Okay, and oxygen is 21% out of 100. Okay, another 1% is other gases are available in the atmosphere. But for this question, the right answer is hydrogen. Okay, we'll move to the next question. The major atmospheric byproduct of photosynthesis. Okay, option A, nitrogen. Option B, water. Option C, carbon dioxide. Option D, oxygen. Okay, so here the byproduct means the output. Okay, what will get it? Okay, here what is photosynthesis? Okay, photosynthesis. Here photo means light. Okay, synthesis means producing, manufacturing. Okay, the plants basically produce their food with the help of photosynthesis process. Okay, for this process they basically use water and the carbon dioxide. So I can say that these are the two inputs for the photosynthesis process. And nitrogen also one of the important the material required for the plants, which basically absorb from the soil by roots. Okay, but for this question the right answer is oxygen. Oxygen is the byproduct of the photosynthesis process. We'll move to the next question. On a rainy day, small oil films on a water shows brilliant color in is due to option A, dispersion, option B, interference, option C, diffraction, option D is polarization. Okay, so in the rainy season we basically see that if anywhere oil spill is there, so that will be looks very colorful. But what is the reason behind that? The reason behind that is interference. So the right answer for this question is interference. So you can see the two images I have given here. Okay, so this is a soap bubble. In nowadays, the kids will play with the soap bubble. So this is the color things you can see in the sunny day, and this is also the colored things. This is the example for oil spill on the sun, the rainy day. Okay, the reason behind this color is interference. Okay, interference is the process of modification of the light when two or more light waves superimpose on one another. Okay, and what is option A, dispersion? Okay, so as we discussed in the earlier classes also, dispersion is the process or the phenomenon of splitting of white light into its component color when passes through a suitable medium like prism or an atmosphere. Okay. So next, option C is diffraction. Diffraction is a phenomenon or process of bending of light due to an obstacles. Okay. Fourth option, I mean D, is polarization. Polarization is one of the important phenomenon in the science, where light is going to be polarized, or the to make the light to move in a single straight line. We will call it as polarization. Okay, so but right answer for this question is option B, interference. Because of the interference, we can see the films of water. Okay, I mean colorful films we can see the see on the water when the oil is spilled on it. Okay. Next, fourth question is, the mean distance between Earth and Sun is called. Option A, parasec. Option B, astronomical unit. Option C, light year. Option D, angstrom. Okay, so what is parasec? First one, the parasec is the measurement basically used to measure the distance between the stars, I mean star and star, or between the galaxies, between the star to galaxies. We basically use parasec. Okay. Option C is light year is there. What is light year? Light year is the distance traveled by the light in 1 year in vacuum. Okay, so the distance traveled by the light in 1 year in vacuum is called light year. And angstrom is the the physical quantity which is basically used to measure the wavelength. 1 angstrom is equal to 10 to the power minus 10 meters. Okay, this is also one more important thing we have to remember. But what is astronomical unit? Astronomical unit is the thing, or the distance between the Earth and Sun. I can say that it is the average distance between the Earth and Sun. So the right answer for this question is astronomical unit. Okay, we'll move to the next question, fourth one. In order to double the period of a simple pendulum, the length of the thread should be option A, halved, option B, doubled, option C, quadrupled, option D, none of this. Okay, so to increase the oscillation of the simple pendulum, okay, I mean to double the period. So what we have to do, we have to increase the length of the string. I mean, it should be increased by 4 times. So the right answer for this question is quadrupled, means it should be increased 4 times. We'll move to the sixth question. What is the principle of optical fiber in communications? Okay, first one is option A, frequency modulation. Okay, maybe in general life we will use FM. In radio and all we will say FM, so that is nothing but frequency modulation. So frequency modulation is used in telecommunication system, in computer system, okay, to increase the frequency of the modulations and to adopt the extra waves or messages on the waves. So we call it as a frequency modulation. And option B, population inversion. This is the important process to raise the electrons from the lower energy level to the upper energy level, I mean higher energy level. So this population inversion is one of the important process required to achieve lasers. Okay, option C, total internal reflection. So we will also call it as a TIR. I have discussed very clearly in detail in my one of the video which I have uploaded in YouTube. You can check it out. Okay, what is total internal reflection and all? So you can get it there with clear explanation with the diagrams and all. But right option for this question is total internal reflections. Okay, so optical fibers are basically important for today's communication system. The today's communication system is totally relay or depends on optical fibers. Okay, and option D is Doppler's effect. Doppler effects will give the clear picture about the decrease or increase in the wavelength or frequency of the sound when the observer and the source are in the relative motion. Okay, so this is one of the important concept in physics, Doppler effect. Okay, but right answer for this question is total internal reflection. Which of the following is the metal elastic material? I mean, most elastic material. So option A, rubber, option B, glass, option C, steel, option D, clay. So elastic material means whenever you stretch it, so it will get elongated. In generally, I can say that rubber band is the best example. Rubber is the best example where you can stretch it. But according to the physics, so the right answer for this question is steel. Okay, the elastic material basically we can say that it works on the proportions. I mean ratio of stress by strain. Okay, so whenever you apply the force or whenever you apply the external force, it will get stretched or elongated. But after the removal of the external force also, the body have the ability to regain its original condition or original configuration. That materials are called as elastic materials. So the right answer for this question is steel. Okay, and here we have to remember it basically works on the principle of stress by strain. Okay, so all right, we'll move to the next question. The electrical conductivity in metal is due to option A, free electrons in metals, option B, nucleons in nucleus, option C is molecular vibrations, option D, none of this. Okay, so what is conductivity? Conductivity is the process of the passing of electricity from one point to another point. So what are conductors? Conductors are the solids which basically allows the charges or electrons to pass through it. The example for conductor is copper. I can give you. Silver is the best conductor. Aluminum is the best conductor. But in generally, we use copper in our domestic electronic circuits and aluminum in the long range electrical transfer, we use it. But here the right answer for this question is free electrons. Okay, so basically conductors contain free electrons. The free electrons are the suitable, or they do the work of conduction in the conductors. Okay, the right answer for this question is option A, free electrons in metals. Ninth question. Which law explains the periodic motion of planets? Option A, Kepler's second law. Option B, Kepler's third law. Option C, Kepler's first law. Option D, Newton's third law. Okay, so the Kepler is a scientist, astronomer who studied clearly about the motion and the direction of how the planets move around the sun. Okay, the Kepler's second law says that okay, the planets which are moving around the sun with a constant aerial velocity. Okay, so it will give, the second law gives the idea about the aerial velocity of the planets around the sun. Okay, and the first law talks about, states that the planets revolve around the sun. For example, sun is here, and around the sun the planets will revolve around the orbit called ellipse. Okay, and third one is Newton's third law of motion. So it is one of the important the law given by Newton. So it says that for every action there is an equivalent opposite reaction. For example, if you throw a ball on the wall, the ball will bounce back. Throwing the ball is the action, and the ball which comes back or bounce back is the reaction. Okay, and the Kepler's third law is the law which gives the idea about the periodic motion of the planets. Okay, right answer for this question is Kepler's third law, option B. Okay, 10th question, which of the following planets, okay, the maximum number of natural satellites are there? Okay, option A Earth, option B Mars, option C Jupiter, option D Saturn. Okay, this is one of the most appeared question in all the competitive exams. Either it may be ISRO or railways or FPA or police constable. Okay, all these exams, this is one of the the default question, I can say that. Okay, so we already know that Earth contains, having only one moon. Okay, that we can see in the night sky. Okay, so Mars having the 2 moons, natural satellites. Okay, Jupiter having 79 planets or moons. Okay, and Saturn is the planet which has 82 natural satellites or moons. So the right answer for this question is option D, Saturn, which has maximum number of natural satellites or moon around it. 11th question, which are the 3 primary colors? When we talks about colors, okay, so we have, there are, the primary color, secondary color is there, but here in the question, they have clearly given the primary colors. So the option A, red, green, blue, option B, black, white, gray, option C, yellow, green, blue, and option D, white, red, green. The right answer for this question is red, green, blue. This is the primary color, and by using these 3 colors, we can derive the rest of the colors. So shortcut, we can remember that as RGB. Okay, all right. So right option for this question is option A. 12th question, which one of the following gas the commonly used as disinfectant drinking water? Option A, fluorine, option B, oxygen, option C, hydrogen, option D, chlorine. Okay, to purify the water in the tanks or the the swimming pools, Wonderla, or any fantasy park, wherever the the swimming pools is there. So basically, to purify it or disinfect it, so chemical is used. So that is chlorine. Okay, chlorine is one of the vital or important essential thing in today's life. It is used in glass industry, also paper industry, also in the cloth industry. For cleaning purpose, they will use chlorine. So the right answer for this question is chlorine. And how about fluorine? Okay, fluorine is one of the chemical which is used in the manufacturing of the plastics, glass industry. They will use it, fluorine. And also in the medical field also they will use it. Okay, so the right answer for this question is chlorine. So it is very important. Okay, so and we have to remember this disinfectant, the drinking water or purify it. Okay, 13th question, which one among the following the lightest metal? The option A, aluminum, option B, mercury, option C, lithium, option D, silver. Okay, the right answer for this question is lithium. Lithium is the lightest metal available in the nature. How about aluminum? What is the use of aluminum? Aluminum is used in the the transfer of electricity from one point to the another point. That is the major essential use. It is used in the the manufacturing of vehicles, ship, also aeroplane industry, it will use it, and space industry, airspace, spaceships, all that manufacturing purpose, they will use aluminum. And mercury is the one of the most important metal, which will be always in the liquid form. I mean, the room temperature. When it exposed to the room temperature, it will become liquid. And so it is the, you have to remember. So mercury is the one metal which is available in the liquid form in the room temperature. And where we use mercury, mercury is basically used in thermometer, barometer. They use it. Remember it. And how about lithium? As we said that lithium is one of the lightest metal available in the nature, and in today's life lithium is one of the most essential important metal. It is used in the laptop batteries, mobile batteries. Basically it is used in the rechargeable batteries, and today's the new trend is electric vehicles, electric scooters. All that basically contains rechargeable batteries. Those batteries contains, the major part of it is lithium. So it is very important, remember it. So lithium is basically used in rechargeable batteries. Next, how about silver? Okay, silver is one of the costliest metal, and it is one of the good conductor. In the conductors list, in the topmost, the silver will stand, but we cannot use in our electronic, electric circuit or electronic devices because it's very expensive. Okay, but the right answer for this question is lithium. 14th question, a device used to measure the atmospheric, okay, amount of moisture in the atmosphere is called as the option A hydrometer, option B hygrometer, option C barometer, option D anemometer. What is hydrometer? Hydro means water. Okay, so it is a instrument basically used to measure the the density of the liquid. Okay, option B is hygrometer. Hygrometer I have shown here. It is the instrument basically used to measure the moisture content in the atmosphere, humidity level in the air. How about barometer? The barometer is a device generally used to measure the atmospheric pressure. And option D is anemometer, as shown here on simple image. Okay, so it is a device or instrument basically used to measure the wind pressure or wind speed. Okay, but the right answer for this question is hygrometer. Hygrometer is the device used to measure the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Okay, all right. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe for my future classes and videos and share with your friends. Thank you very much.